All right, now that we've had our lecture on sketching, and now that you've had the chance to do some sketching, hopefully by following along with the videos where we laid out some line work and some arcs and some circles, and we did a little sketching together, we're able to do the assignments that we've got set up. So you're going to be taking a look at Unit 1 in your course pack. And in Unit 1, if we skip on down to page 1-7, there is some information about freehand sketching that would be good to consider. There's some section on sketch lines, sketching circles and arcs. There's a little blurb about proportion, which is important while sketching. And then there's the characteristics of a good sketch and the characteristics of a poor sketch. So while you're doing your assignments, try to follow the points that are laid out, the 7 points that show that you've listened to these things, you've considered how you're going to do the project, and you've trying to apply to the best of your ability good sketching techniques. So our first assignment, assignment 1.1, I'd like you to go to page 1-9, and I would like you to look at the two figures, one on the top, one on the bottom, and I'd like you to pick one. And whichever one you pick, well, this is the item you'll be sketching. Now, if we take a look at the top one, let's highlight a couple things here and make a couple things clear. This piece of paper, here's the edge of the paper. This piece of paper has a border about a 1/2 inch wide, about as wide as your pinky. And in our lecture, the demonstration videos, I showed you how to set up a border on the edge of a piece of paper for a sketch. Now if we look at the assignment, we see we have the drawing area in between the border lines. It's basically broken up into four different sections, halfway and halfway at the midpoints. Up in this quarter, we've got horizontal lines. In this quarter, vertical lines. And then we have 45-degree lines in each of these two boxes. So now your job is to take a look at this and then grab your piece of paper and put a border on it and then sketch what you see, right? Our goal is to be able to look at something and sketch it neatly and accurately, or to see something in our mind and then get it on a piece of paper neatly and accurately. If there are 10 divisions here, there's 9. So then on your sketch, there should be 9 divisions. Don't have 4 divisions. Don't have 100 divisions. Make sure you're sketching what you see. Now, if you don't like that one, take a look at the second one here. If this is more up your alley, then you'll be sketching this guy. This looks like a pattern of parquet flooring, right? This is wooden parquet flooring. So what we're doing is we're making a sketch that kind of shows that same idea. Take a look at this drawing. See, the last drawing, the sketch went all the way to the border, right? But in this drawing, in this sketch, does the figure we're drawing go all the way to the border? See, it really doesn't. There's a gap all the way around. So if you see a gap, make sure your sketch has a gap. The gap looks pretty even all the way around. And then if we look at what we're sketching, even though it's a big rectangle, do we see how it's broken into smaller squares? See, there's like 4 squares wide and 3 squares tall, 4 columns, 3 rows. And then in each of these individual squares, it's been broken into 3 smaller rectangles that alternate between horizontal and vertical lines. So if you like this one, do this one. If you prefer this one, do this one. Your name should go right about here in the bottom right corner, either just above the border if there's space, or in the case of this one, maybe just below the border. And you'll be picking one of the 2 objects to sketch. When you're done, stand back, take a look at it. Did you darken in all the lines? Did you start lightly so you didn't have to erase very much? Are your lines nice and clean, or did you go back and forth over them, scribbling? Because fuzzy lines aren't good for a technical sketch. Did you cheat? Did you use tools? Did you pull out a ruler? See, if you pulled out a ruler and used it, I'm going to know immediately when I look at it, so you don't want to use tools on a sketch. Is everything there? Nothing missing, right? So these are the things we're looking for on a good technical sketch. After you've assessed what you've done, we go on to page 1-10 and we look at the two sketches here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to look at sketch number 1, sketch number 2. We're going to figure out which one looks doable for us, and you're going to pick and go with that. Which one do you think is the easier one to do, the one you'll be more successful with? So, again, we have a border around the edge. We've got a gap between the border and the figure we're drawing. This is basically a rectangle, right? With 4 fillets on the corners, some tangent arcs. In the very center, it looks like we got a large circle. On the corners, at the center point of the outside arc, there is a smaller circle, smaller holes. And then finally, these things line up vertically. We like this one, well, we lay it out really lightly, super light on a piece of paper. We make sure things are proportionate. We make sure things are where they're supposed to be. And then we go back in and we darken what we're going to keep. Now, if that's not your cup of tea, then we go down here, we take a look at this one, and we say, okay, I like this better, right? Well, look, it's the same idea. It can start off as a rectangle, and on one end, we're adding some fillets and some holes. Over here, we have a large circle, large hole, and over here, we've got a cutout, like a slot. So it's a half circle, right, with a couple of horizontal lines, and then here we have a couple of diagonal lines. And this point here lines up with that point there. So look at the two, decide which one you like better, attempt it, make sure when you're done you've got all the elements that are required, make sure you've hit all of these high points on the characteristics of a good technical sketch. Make sure your name is just above the border, just above the border. And just like all the technical drawings we've seen up to this point, your name should be all capital letters, no lowercase. Okay? If you see a center mark, add a center mark. Right? We need those. Those are part of the sketch. So we need center marks here and here. And we need 5 center marks over here. Right? So these are our assignments that go along with the sketching element of the week 1 materials.